Mistakes made by black men systemically gave rise to the conditions that allowed her to be masculine and made her end up with a man that you consider to be less than what he should be.
Sometimes these guys that consider themselves woke, they're asleep on what's actually going on in the black community.
So I'm not with nobody, cause I don't wanna hurt nobody. Did it over text, didn't call me. Still got love for your mommy. I know you wanna be somebody, even if you gotta leave somebody.
So first, we're gonna start off with Dr. Umar. I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the interview that he did with the young men from Daily Wrap-Up crew. And we're gonna talk about these comments here.
Yes, they have a role. Yes, they have responsibility. But as a man, as a leader, to say I can't fix this shit unless she changes, that's not the definition of a man.
I don't see. I think we're on two different accords. Like, I don't think we're saying that. What I'm saying is I'm capable of being that leader, that provider. I've worked hard in my life. We tell black men that we have to now deal with masculine women, women with children.
Why is she masculine? Because she's had to raise the kids alone. Not one woman, so brother, a whole community.
So you mean to tell me the only woman I could look forward in my life is a masculine woman that has kids by other men?
No.
That's what I have to look forward to?
But I'm telling you, mistakes made by black men systemically gave rise to the conditions that allowed her to be masculine and made her end up with a man that you consider to be less than what he should be.
Now, I know Dr. Umar Johnson, he said a lot of different things on that stream. So, and again, shout out to the Daily Wrap-Up crew and their interview of Dr. Umar Johnson. First and foremost, I am a huge fan of Dr. Umar Johnson. I agree with about 99% of the things that he says. I didn't agree with him shaming Kevin Samuels or talking about Kevin Samuels after he passed.
I didn't support it at all.
Okay.
I thought it was divisive. I thought it was very Eurocentric in his approach to criticism. I think his expectations for women were very superficial in terms of what was important. There was a heavy focus on how much you make and how good you look. No woman is going to look good forever. No. They're going to get pregnant. They're going to get older. To me, telling women that you are too fat or too small or too broke, and that's the reason why you don't have a man, that is psychopathological and it is destructive to our community.
2 seconds later.
And now you see your biological clock is ticking and your beauty clock. See, you got a biological clock, how long you can have those babies, and you got a beauty clock, how long you gonna be looking good. A biological clock, how long you gonna have them babies, and a beauty clock, how long you gonna be looking good. And guess what? When you hit those 40s, don't get me wrong, black don't crack, but everybody declines.
And I definitely do not agree with what he's saying in regards to black men being responsible for how black women picked their mates and how they pick men to have children with.
Do you have any kids?
3 kids, 3 baby daddies, and they all gang bang.
Do you have any kids?
Yes, I do.
How many kids?
5.
5 kids. How old are your kids?
They're 15, 13, 10, 8, and 4.
10, 8, and 4. Same guy?
No.
How many
different?
men?
5.
Answer. You have any kids, Kiana?
I do.
How many kids?
I have 5.
You're 5 kids?
Yeah.
What are your kids' age?
18, 17, 15, 11, and 9. I had to think about that.
All the same dad?
Yes.
Was you ever married?
No.
31. Do you have any kids?
Yes, 4.
4 kids. How old are your kids?
I got a 12-year-old, I got a 6-year-old, 4 or 5.
All by the same man?
No.
How many men?
I'm 3. I got 3 baby fathers.
You have any kids?
Yes, I have 3.
3 kids. How old are your kids?
24, 16, and 11.
Same guy?
No.
How many dads?
I got 3 daddies, 3 baby daddies.
Okay. Do you was you ever married?
Oh no.
Do you have any kids?
I have 3.
3 kids. How old are your kids?
12, 9, and 6.
Same dad?
No.
How many fathers?
3. I did it
3.
3
You have any kids?
Yes, I have 3.
You have 3 kids. How old are your kids?
My boys are 14 and 16, and my daughter, she's 5.
Okay, same dad?
No,
Do
2.
you have any kids, Shan?
Yep, they're all grown.
How many kids do you have?
4 boy. I'm a boy mom.
Okay, you have 4 boys?
Yeah, youngest 25.
Youngest is 25. Okay, same dad?
Well, the youngest is the other 3 do, and then the youngest, I was married to his dad for 13 years.
Okay.
Sometimes these guys that consider themselves woke, they're asleep on what's actually going on in the black community. So during this live stream, they discuss a litany of topics. However, this topic was the one that interests me the most. When you say that black men need to be better leaders, my question is this: to what extent do you need to be able to quantify what leading better actually means and what level of improvement black men need to do that would be sufficient enough for black women as a whole to be able to follow? Because the only answer to that is nothing. Nothing black men do as a whole will ever be enough, because our women will never be satisfied because they don't want to be led by anybody. Most black women didn't even grow up in a subpar environment, yet somehow they managed to find themselves under a thug, have children with him, and then take to social media to complain and gain sympathy for the situations that they put themselves in.
I got 5 kids.
How many women have your children?
Ooh, all 5.
Do you have any kids?
Yeah, I got 2 kids now.
2 kids. How old are your kids?
1 year old, and the girl should be 3 months old now.
You have a baby that's 1 and you have a child that's 3 months?
Yep.
So by 2 different women.
Yeah, 2 different
Do you
women.
have any kids?
Yep, I got 8 kids.
Dushan, you really have 8 children?
Yeah, I got 8 children. Yep.
You're 32. How old are your 8 kids?
I got 1 11-year-old, 14-year-olds.
14-year-old plural? You have more than 1 14-year-olds?
Yeah, I have 14-year-olds.
You have 4. You have, hold on.
4 different children. That's 10. Yes.
Hold on. Hold on. You're being serious right now?
You
right?
gonna do me like that?
Huh?
I mean, yeah, I'm telling you this. I mean, it ain't no made up story. I'm telling you what it is.
Okay, how many 10-year-olds do you have?
I have 4.
4 10-year-olds, okay.
And I have a 9-year-old. And I have a son that's 4. And I have a son that's 1.
How many women, Deshaun?
I got 6 different baby mamas.
Do you have any kids?
I got 5.
You have 5 kids. How old are your kids?
So boom, I got she's 4 months. I got 4-month-year-old. I got a 13-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
That's 4.
That's 4. Oh damn, my fault. I forgot about the 5-year-old. My fault.
So how many women?
Just 2.
Marcus, how many kids do you have?
I got 3 daughters.
3 daughters. How old are your girls?
I got they're 10.
They're all 10?
Well, the oldest will be 11 in 2 months. So.
And and then the other 2 are 10?
Yeah.
Are they triplets or twins and
I got 2 twins and another situation, but.
Okay, so 2 different women. You have any kids?
I got 3 kids.
3 kids. How old are your kids?
I got an 8-year-old, 5-year-old, and a 8-month-old.
I ain't gonna put that on the internet, but it just, you can use context clues.
Do you have children?
That I know of, 3.
Okay, so
what was that face for?
Well, no, because I don't want you to have this attitude like whatever happens, happens. You have 3 people who are counting on you.
Oh, they straight. You know, did the little savings account and all that. They gonna be straight.
But they should, but they still want to see you when you 80 years old too. That's more straight. You have any kids?
They grown.
They grown? How grown are they? They got ages still?
23, 20, 17.
How many kids you have?
4, 22, 20. I mean 23, 20, 17, and 14.
23, 20, 17, and 14?
Yeah.
How many women?
3.
Did you ever marry any of the women that had your children?
No, ma'am.
NBA YoungBoy has 2 women pregnant at the same time, 9 baby mothers. Father of 33 kid claps back at social media calling him irresponsible, 20 baby mamas. And then you have the rapper, Jay Fizzle. He has 22 kids, 22 different baby mothers. And you mean to tell me that's black men's fault? Over the past year, I've done my level best to debunk every negative stereotype that the black community has believed about black men. Even being the first to show a video from Oprah Winfrey, who black women love, explaining that black men were proven to be the most involved fathers.
There's been this landmark study from the Center for Disease Control, which debunked many of the myths surrounding black fathers. It found that the majority of black fathers live with their children. Black fathers are more likely to help their children with their homework, prepare meals, bathe and dress their children compared to fathers of other races. So the absent or deadbeat black father myth that many in America believe is really more like a lie.
And it still wasn't enough. After seeing all the negative responses, I've come to one conclusion. The black women who hate black men, they aren't looking for the truth. They're trying to win. They're trying to win. So when you have a pro-black figure such as Dr. Umar Johnson saying that the way black women act and choose partners to procreate with is black men's fault, you're giving them an out. You're giving them a reason to justify the way that they act by placing the blame on black men's failure to lead, which now gives them every reason to be complacent instead of improving their behavior and acknowledging that black men are leading in every major socioeconomic position. They will continue to move the goalposts by saying when black men become better leaders, that's when we'll follow. First of all, how many black men truly believe that? Let's say that in a couple years, every black man makes $100,000 a year. Businesses increase by 2 times in that time frame, and we decrease our incarceration rate by half. Will black women as a whole immediately believe and begin to follow? As a matter of fact, how many black women would actually believe it? On April 21st of this year, I was the first person to post that video of Oprah admitting that black men are the most involved fathers. And you know who I had to block the most because they commented the most vile and disparaging things while saying that it wasn't true? Black women and white men. That should tell you something. If the CDC, the U.S. Census, the U.S. Department of Labor couldn't convince black women that black men are in fact leading the black community, you want us to believe that anything a black man does to increase his place in society, black women are going to acknowledge it? Nick, brother, please. And what's crazy is that Dr. Umar, he knows this firsthand.
When you hear Sister Cynthia speak, you can hear a hurt and a pain and a hatred towards black men. We cannot find an effective solution to black male-female relationship issues or the oppression of black men or black women when the people at the table having the conversation have negative emotional and pathological interest in the conversation that are not.
Umar, the question wasn't about my emotional state. The question was, what did black men do in response to their disenfranchisement?
Yeah, because you're trying to pathologize my emotional state, not knowing that I'm a psychologist too. But what you're not doing is telling us what black men did.
I believe he'll get there, Dr. Umar.
May I finish?
Dr. Umar.
And I'll end it quickly, Sister Tammy. According to Mrs. Cynthia G., Dr. King was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Malcolm X was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Medgar Evers was assassinated because he was doing nothing. Fred Hampton was assassinated because he was doing nothing. That narrative that black men have done nothing to fight back against systemic oppression, not only against ourselves, but against our women, our children, our elders, and our community is absolutely ridiculous. The cemetery is filled with black men, names we know and names we don't know, who gave their life for the freedom, liberation, and emancipation of African people. How can you disrespect the history of so many black men, past and present, who continue to fight? I'm sitting in a school right now that we built with all black money, 4 buildings that we're going to educate black men in. It's not easy to solve our problems because there's always black people in your very same community who's fighting against what you're trying to do to help it. But in addition to that, the white power structure is always waving its wand of oppression to try to sabotage anything we do. I think that the analysis of our women is too overly simplistic, and in being such, it is dishonest.
They've done so much. You've only listed names and not accomplishments, though.
The bottom line is, when black women, black girls, black boys listen to this conversation we're having today, they're going to be confused because they hear 2 brothers speaking of a greater context to the problems that affect black men, and you hear 2 intelligent, beautiful black women who want to keep scapegoating black men while ignoring the historical and contemporary systemic challenges that are constantly placed in our way. I'm going to say this and be quiet, Sister Tammy. I got to give you this. There was a recent piece of research, Tammy, that came out, and the research said a black man with a master's degree, they did a study. They had white males who had come out of prison apply for jobs. They had black men with master's degrees, Sister Tammy, apply for the jobs. And guess what? The white males with prison history and no education were called back more than 75% of the time than black men with no prison history and a master's degree.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but that was Cynthia G giving pushback in regards to what Dr. Umar Johnson was saying. So he knows this firsthand.
None of the black women who chose to go on his platform were forced to do so. He didn't beg any of them. He didn't manipulate any black women into coming on his platform. They all did so consciously of their own free decision. They came willingly. His platform was supported by women, and he has just as many female defenders as he has male defenders. And so therefore, to some degree, although I likewise did not agree with his message or his methods, many sisters who are suggesting that Kevin Samuels created this rift between black men and black women, they're being disingenuous. 75% of the vitriol, the hostility, and the vilification that black women are now showing towards Kevin Samuels would be more rightly placed or directed towards the queendom, the sisterhood, not Kevin Samuels. If anything, he exposed it, he exploited it, and he marketed the pre-existing differences between black men and black women, but he did not birth them. And so I'm disappointed in both the way that black men and black women are reacting to Kevin Samuels' death. On the side of the sisterhood, I'm seeing black women say things like, I'm throwing a party to celebrate his death. I've seen a sister say that. I've seen other women say, yes, we should be praising God for this. We should be honoring the ancestors that he is dead.
The purpose of this live stream isn't to bash black women for failing to acknowledge where they stand in the black community, but to help them understand that black men and are and have always been the leaders of the black community. Black men are doing exponentially better than what society has conditioned you all to believe. In conclusion, what you described as black men throwing their hands up and leaving the table isn't a sign of defeat. It's a sign for peace, because what aware black men have finally realized is that nothing that they ever do will be enough to satisfy a contingent of women who have been conditioned to hate us.
Black men, I'm gonna say it from me to you. This is just straight up. Black women, 80% of them, they don't like you. 80%, I'm probably sure it's more, but at least 80% of black women in this day and age, it don't matter how old or young they are, they have a general dislike and hatred for you. That's your real climate, brother. See, I'm not telling you something that you ain't already felt. I'm telling you something that you know. I think it's more too. I truly think it's more too. I think it's more too. And I'm tired of being the one that's not talking about it. I've said this. This is one of the main reasons I don't have a lot of black female friends. I really don't, y'all. I don't. I couldn't imagine what it would be like as a black man to want to fuck these bitches, to want to wife them up and have babies. But the majority of your population, you want a black woman, right? But these hoes is crazy. These hoes really crazy out here. Like, it's an abundance of you that think that all men are dogs, but we all know it means black men. You don't ever roast white men, Mexican men, Indian men, Asian men. You don't ever have nothing bad to say about them. But when we say all men are dogs, you really think it's black men that are dogs. Let's just call a thing a thing. 2021, I swear to God, this the year where the truth about to rain on your head, because we can't even hide from it. You're showing us exactly how you feel. We can have a real conversation with you. If you're on Clubhouse, follow me on Clubhouse at ArtCathy1. There are rooms. I saw a room the other night, and it doesn't matter where I am. You can just overhear black women talking about the relationship conversation, and I'll be like, oh, Lord, here we go with this shit. Because the undertone of all relationship conversations is black men ain't shit. Why these black men ain't doing this? I can't bond with y'all, sis. I cannot bond with y'all when you have a general dislike and vitriol and hatred for our male counterpart. Do you not understand how goddamn psychotic that is?
What would drive that young woman to say that? Think about that, guys. So I know and I understand that black men are now refusing not to argue and are removing themselves from the black community's dysfunction and starting to think and excel as individuals or individual groups without black women who hate black men, and woke individuals like Dr. Umar who fail to acknowledge that the people who you call our sisters and queens are willing to do whatever they can to slander the black man's ethnic image. So when you try to lead a group of women who continuously tell you that they don't want to be led by you, the foolish thing to do is to keep arguing with them. So instead of doing that, you take your talents where they're appreciated and you move on. It's crazy that a black man can be so woke, but blind and deaf to what your queens are saying directly to your face. But you keep on holding on to that idea that black men are the problem, because the black women who hate black men will always save a place for you at their table. So again, to what extent do you think black men need to win to where black women who hate black men would be satisfied? I'll wait. Let's move on. Go ahead and make sure you click that link, get you some Teej Hanley, and support the Medium Man YouTube channel, and also support Teej Hanley.